You might know my Honda Civic Type R replica from previous videos that we've made, but you probably don't know my friend Mark's Honda Civic. It's an EG hatch that's built in a very similar fashion to mine with a Type R powertrain swap. So I thought it would be cool to see how these two builds compared with each other on track. And thanks to NASA Mid-Atlantic, we were able to get these two rice burners out to the legendary Virginia International Raceway.
So this is my EK hatch. You might have seen it from previous videos such as the road trip and how I bought my Civic for $5,000. It has a B16B from the Civic Type R in it, makes about 182 crank horsepower, probably 155 at the wheels. It weighs 2,300 pounds without me in it, and it has 205 RE71s on it. And that's about it. Other than that, it's pretty much stock. I've got the stock Civic Type R intake on it and the stock Civic Type R exhaust. So it is making no more horsepower than factory, and we're gonna see how it compares to Mark's EG on track.
So this is my 92 Honda Civic EG. I put the Integra Type R in it, went through everything, did all the bushings. The car weighs 2,300 pounds. So the tires that I have are 225 up front with a staggered setup, 205, 50 in the rear, running Nankang AR1s. But I could probably fall asleep and still win.
Mark's EG has the more powerful B18C Type R motor, which is 0.2 liters bigger than my B16B motor. This would normally mean that he's making about 20 more horsepower than me. But because of this, he's reduced his redline to 7,200 RPM, which puts his engine at the same power output as my smaller engine. We should both be making around 155 to 160 wheel horsepower, a perfectly even match.
Of course I'm excited. I get to be on track with my buddy and whoop his butt.
Mark felt confident that he would be faster than me. So we started with me in the lead. I would drive around the track as fast as I could and see if Mark could pass me.
Third gear through here. I think that's the fastest gear, but I'm really not sure. Corvette's giving me a point by here. Come on, VTEC, 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 VTEC. All right, starting to get a gap on Mark, but we had some traffic back there, so we'll see.
So the tires weren't warm and I went off turn 10. No, everything was doing fine, and then all of a sudden the rear just stepped down. Tried saving it, overcorrected, and I went in backwards towards Oak Tree. No, terrifying. Not fun, terrifying. My confidence is shot right now. I know I got it, but I don't got it right now. That was bad.
And only minutes after Mark had brought his car back to the paddock, I pulled up with my Civic, having done the exact same thing.
So the last session went pretty well. I did a 221, which is my best time so far. And I was on track to do a 220 until I was off track. I decided to push a little bit harder than this car is capable of in a corner, and it just slid out. My camera was messing up, so I don't think I have any footage of it, but it was about 95 miles an hour. It started sliding out, and I just couldn't catch it, and it whipped back, went off track at the same spot that Mark did, the same session. I think we're both just trying to like put a fast lap down, and it's just causing us to push too hard. So I think just need to cool down a little bit, kind of ease back into it. Next session, just gonna take it easy, slowly work my way back into it. And now I know I can't go through turn 10 at 100 miles an hour. So I got that going for me. 221's the time to beat. Mark hasn't put a time down yet because he can't get his tires up to temperature because they're so wide and he makes so little horsepower that the tires aren't getting up to temperature.
You need some tires? Who do you think is going to win this here Civic battle?
I don't know, man. All I know is I've heard way too many excuses from both parties. So I just hope they keep the cars together. But from what I've heard, Mark should win undoubtedly. But all we're going to hear is excuses all weekend.
That was our friend Kobe. He's basically our channel's version of the Stig. If you remember Ben's introductory video of his 350Z, Kobe put down a time 4.5 seconds faster than Ben in his own car. I don't think Kobe needs any more introduction than that. He's here today because he's going to drive both of the Civics at the end of this battle to find out which car is faster regardless of the driver. But before we do that, let's continue with our cold hard competition to see what kind of time Mark can put down in chase of my 221.
We're gonna take it easy this session. We both just went off last session at nearly 100 miles an hour. So we need to slowly build our confidence back up by going a little bit slower, weaning our way into it. So that's the plan this session.
I'm not sure what kind of time I'm laying down. Ben definitely has more experience in the Civic than I do.
There's my tracks where I went off.
After a few laps, Mark was still a few seconds off pace, so we traded positions to give him the lead and see if he could outrun me. With clean track ahead of him, Mark managed to put down a 225.
Well, that was much better. Actually staying on track this time.
Still 4 seconds off of my best time, but this was right after both of us had gone off, so we were driving a bit more conservative to make sure we stayed on track.
Actually got some heat in the tires this time. Woo!
Because of this timid driving, I didn't manage to shave any time off of my best, so the time to beat is still 221.
Well, that was good, clean fun. Didn't push that hard that session. Kind of got an idea where Mark and I stand. I think I do pull away from him a bit, which is surprising.
That was much better.
With 3 sessions left, we both got out there to try our best to put down the fastest lap possible. Both of these little Honda Civics are quite slow at a big track like VIR, but I was quite impressed at how well it kept up with the other, more powerful cars on track. I had some predictive lap times on my lap timer of a 220 flat, so I was trying my best to shave off that last second. But it didn't take long until I started overdriving the car and it went right off track. Again. I put down a few more laps until I finally conceded to my 221 being the best lap time for me. With the temperature warming up later in the day, Mark was also unable to beat his best of a 225. So, it looks like the EK is victorious.
EK is victorious. EK is the better chassis. It's clear. It's clear. Well, that was a good battle. We both had a bit of a scary moment there halfway through. All in all, it was a great weekend. We both had fun. I think that's safe to say, yeah?
I had fun.
Right.
My best time was a 225-1.
And my best time was a 221. I mean, we're pretty neck and neck on the straights. I think the power was pretty even, which made it a good match. I think if you had the full rev range, I'd probably have to hand it to you. I mean, you're talking probably 10, 15 more horsepower.
Yeah.
So.
That, and if I dial the camber back out on the rear, it might keep the car more planted.
Yeah, I've had 3 track days with the Civic now, so I've had time to dial it in. So I mean, I kind of came into this with a little bit more advantage. I'll give you that.
Now, we wanted to remove the driver variable from this challenge, so we put in our adept racing driver, Kobe Shield. A little background on Kobe: he drives a Camaro in the Grid Life Street GT Time Attack class, and he won last year's championship. He's very fast, and tooled his nearly stock Camaro SS around VIR at a record time of 2 minutes and 2 seconds on street tires. So these slow little Civics are no challenge for him. Kobe crosses the line with Mark's EG with a 223, still off pace from the EK.
Dude, this thing's a freaking riot.
Now, Kobe gets in my EK to see what time he can do. and he crosses the line with a surprising 222, still 1 second faster than the EG.
Our friend Kobe drove both of these cars, and admittedly he said that the EK hatch was a lot more compliant than the EG. That's not saying that all the EK hatches are more compliant than EGs. That's just that I have Recaro buckets in there and everything where you're not sliding around, while you have Prelude seats, which are great for daily driving, but...
Great for daily driving. But however, when you make that, you know, that right-hander, or that left-hander I should say.
You're in the passenger seat.
I'm in the passenger seat. So you kind of got to work your way back over. And
yeah.
I mean, that might have been why I was so slow.
Yeah, and I mean, driver confidence is one of the most important for driving. So I think if you put some seats in, you'd have a lot more confidence. The car could very well be very fast, but I don't think anybody has the balls to do it.
Well, not in this group.
Yeah, no.
The EK may have won this battle, but in the end, it doesn't really matter that much to us, because we all had so much fun driving these slow cars. Even Kobe, who said he had more fun driving these slow little Civics than in his Camaro.
I was hitting the horn the whole way through the corner. The whole way through. I forgot that.
It's not a nitrous button.
The whole way through, like 4A, 4B, it's like nee, 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 and all the corner workers are looking like one way to me, and I'm just honking.
No!
There's always going to be faster cars out there, but it doesn't matter if you're having fun, because that's what it's all about. I love my EK hatch. It's the perfect car. It's slow, but it's still such a blast to drive. I'd highly recommend a car like this to almost anyone. But I want to keep exploring different cars. So this is the point in the video where I would tell you that I'm going to sell my Civic, to buy something else and try something new. But I've thought a lot about it, and I've decided that rather than selling this car for something new, I'll just change this car into something else entirely, with a K24 swap.